Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something a little different. Hopefully something that will be the start of a series. If you guys like it, if you guys are interested in it, obviously the comments will always tell me that. So please feel free to leave a comment on how you felt about this video and if it was relevant to you at all, or if it was kind of just whatever. Like, yeah, everybody already knew that. But I wanted to do a new type of video that I'm going to be calling boss guides. And essentially the purpose of this series is just to go over the very, very tricky, very, very powerful defenders that we've been getting recently in this game, especially if you are a hardcore Battlegrounds player or a hardcore Alliance player, both of which I consider myself to be. Yeah, in that vein, there's just been a lot of defenders, there's been a lot of tricks, there's been a lot of gameplay like you've had to pay attention to if you are really grinding these modes and trying to figure out how to deal with these new champions. And I thought I'd start off this series with one of the coolest, probably the most fair, honestly, of these new defenders, which is Deathless Thanos. That everybody who really, really likes this game and is just into it, plays it every day, had the opportunity to get with the Deathless series, which is over the past year and a half, honestly. And this champion is probably one of the most fair 5 out of 5 defenders that we all have. His big gimmick is not his defensive tactics, though he does have quite a few. It's really just that massive health pool you can see there, about 125,000, and his protection that he gains 4 times. I guess you wouldn't really count the last percent. So 3 times throughout the fight, that will pretty much inevitably, if he's awakened in Sig 200, which most people that have him did take him to that because they kind of gave you the resources to, will actually be 100% protection, so you're not doing any damage while he's at that point. And it happens, well, 3 times doesn't seem like a lot. In the actual event of fighting him, it is quite a few times. So he's just got a really chunky health pool. He has Unstoppable, and I know Unstoppable is like, oh, well, you just get a slow champion. There's a lot of slow champions that don't really work against him because he has a very specific playstyle that you need to fight against. And my intention is to show you that playstyle so you know who to bring, how to bring him, and what to do. Because he can be done by any champion, much like Photon. He can be done by any champion, but there's a lot of champions that do him much, much, much better. So I thought I'd just go over some counters and go over, there is a general game you're playing when you're fighting Deathless Thanos. But what I thought I'd start off with first is what I think is simply the best counter for him, and that is Chee'ilith. Obviously, if you can see here, I do have a 7-star rank 3 Chee'ilith. I am using the 6-star to simulate more of a Battlegrounds Alliance War health pool feel. Obviously, it's honestly going to be a little bit more underpowered for me there because 6-star compared to 7-star rank 4 is 6-star rank 1 compared to 7-star rank 4 is very, very different than the normal Battlegrounds health pool. But I just want to show off how you play him, and honestly, as long as I don't die of block damage, which I don't believe I will, I've tested this multiple times, you're going to get the general idea of a Battlegrounds Alliance War fight with him. So without further ado, begin the duel. The name of the game with Deathless Thanos is you need to find champions that can punish his special 1 with a heavy attack. Because if you're giving him too many of his unstoppable charges, he will just straight up go unstoppable and slap you in the face mid-combo. And the thing about Chee'ilith is if you punish a heavy or special attack with her heavy attack, you actually pause the bleeds you've inflicted on them, kind of causing a multiplicative damage cycle. And with Deathless Thanos, he's going to be throwing these specials all the time because he has the Energize. So you can just spam your heavies on him after the special 1, but there's a little bit of a trick to it. You have to wait for him to throw it, dash back, dive in, and then try, ideally parry, but realistically block the last hit of the special 1. Parry right here. There you go. And then hit him with your heavy attack again and bait it out again. You definitely want to parry with Chee'ilith if you can, if you're good at it, because that actually gets her charges, which makes her bleeds deal more damage. And again, you're stacking on these bleeds, not indefinitely, but definitely multiplicatively, so you're getting more bleeds every time you do it. And eventually you're just going to get him to a point where he has so many bleeds on him, he's just ticking down, and he's just going to die like that. Especially her heavy attack takes a while, so you're going to get those bleed damages popping up. She is an amazing counter to him. How many seconds was that? That was about a minute, which ideally, in a Battlegrounds fight, I want to say be realistically. I know there's people that have done it faster. I know it's possible to do it faster. But if you're going up against a 7-star rank 4 Thanos in Battlegrounds, you've got a rank 2 or 3, hopefully 4 if you have the counter. 2 to 4. A minute is amazing for him. Obviously, we lost a little bit of health due to just him having Pierce on the defender stat focus and me not having anything as a 6-star and just having much lower block proficiency than a 7-star would. We lost a little bit of health. I don't believe I took any hits, so it was mostly just block damage and me trying to bait out them heavies and also not parrying every special. So there was room for improvement on my part there, but you generally get the idea that I didn't have to worry about the unstoppable. I didn't have to worry about the special 2. I didn't have to worry about anything besides dashing out for that special 1, dashing back in, parrying, and heavying. Now, while Chee'ilith does this better than most champions, she is not the only one that can. For example, this would be more of a quest counter. Let's see if I even have I'm sure I have a 6-star version of her somewhere, but we'll just use the 7-star. This is more of a quest champion, but can be very easily used in Battlegrounds as well, especially if you don't have any other options. But Deathless She-Hulk does amazing. He's going to be spamming those specials, therefore your traumas are going to keep repressed. And then you just throw a little heavy, wait for him to do it again. And then it just becomes kind of a gameplay loop. The defender challenge is gone. It is just time. You won't lose a lot of health. You'll be good. Easy peasy. Now, what you'll notice here for most of these counters I'm going to talk about is I'm actually not really using my specials because likely you're going to push them to one of those percent meters with the specials, and if you don't, you're not going to do more than 25% damage with the special. So it's kind of really not worth it. Every now and then with Chee'ilith, to get that regen and to get that vicious passive, I'll do a special 3 because regen's really good in Battlegrounds, give you your points back. I will pretty much never when I'm using Deathless She-Hulk use a special 3. It's just not worth it. Generally, you want basic attacks, people that do heavy damage with basic attacks, and specifically heavy damage on their heavies. As you can see, Deathless She-Hulk works like a dream. Obviously, there's going to be nodes. Obviously, there's going to be things that you can't predict in Battlegrounds meta and in war. But generally, the strategy of dash back, heavy, parry, and then, or dash back, dash in, parry, heavy is going to be how you want to deal with him. However, I'll show the Chee'ilith match one more time here. In the past meta, we had an invade meta. And invade meant you really don't want to block, even through parry. There is still a way to do it with Chee'ilith and Deathless She-Hulk and a couple other champions. But I do want to highlight that right now. It is not an instance of you must parry or block that last hit of the special. You can do like that, and then throw a light, and then immediately throw in. You'll not be getting your pause there on your bleeds, which is not ideal. So ideally you do want a heavy just for time. But you still can do this strategy with pretty much any champion. Well, don't get hit like I just did. But you can pretty much do this strategy with any champion, even if you can't block. If he has, to say, unblockable specials or just the Pierce like we had in the last meta, it is still possible. There are ways around that. So the game will always be punishing that special 1 and making sure, let me do that. Punishing that special 1 with a heavy. The reason you want to do it with a heavy, as I previously stated, is unless you have a slow champion, if you do enough hits on him, he is going to go unstoppable. If he goes unstoppable, he will immediately smack you in the face. He has a chance to chain stun you with his heavy. It's just not a good time. But heavies, as long as they're under 2-3 hits, I think I've tested 3-hit heavies, fine. But as long as they're under 3 hits, you'll pretty much never have to worry about the unstoppable. So you can just play that gameplay loop and then win. If you have any champions in mind that would do that well with the heavy, please let me know in the comments. But those are the 2 best I've found. You could also do it with, you could do it with anybody, but Absorbing Man would be a great option. Human Torch is a good option. Obviously, with Human Torch, you're maybe wanting to block the full hit of that special as long as you can. You're going to lose a little bit of points on that, but he's just so fast it won't matter. Diablo is a good option. Purgatory's fine. I wouldn't necessarily recommend her, though. Same with Phoenix. Black Cat is a fine option. I'm trying to see if anybody else before I just continue on with what I'm saying. Sinister is honestly a fine option, too. It's not as pretty, but Sinister can do the job, too. But truly what I'm saying. Oh, Archangel is great. I know that sounds crazy because Thanos is poison immune, but actually the bleeds do stack up, and you're getting those heavies pretty much every combo. Onslaught is a great option. Who's another? Oh, Hercules. This is actually something I did recently in the last meta, just because Hercules is good for a block pen meta. Hercules actually does this fight really well, and I haven't talked about Hercules in years, just because I feel like he's kind of been willfully pushed out of the game, but he actually does this fight really well. And if you don't know that about Hercules, he essentially gets bonuses if you hit a heavy attack on a non-stunned enemy, and if you're punishing the special attack, of course, he will always not be stunned. So this is pretty much how it works. Exact same way, and then you're just getting bonuses from the heavy attack, building up your feats, you're building them up really quick. Boom. Just like that. And honestly, he kind of works better than... not Chee'ilith, but he works better than Deathless She-Hulk. He works really well for this fight, just because you're going to be max feats very soon, and then you're just going to be dealing a bunch of damage. And also, if you do mess up, and you're like, oh crap, accidentally push into a special 3, which I can't do right now, you can always just throw your special 3 and then be immune to his special 3 damage. Obviously, you'll have a permanent corrosion on you, so you want to finish the fight pretty quick. But he's an amazing counter to this fight. Probably worth running in your deck, considering he can counter... Keep doing that. He can counter a lot of other stuff, too. But I wanted to just end this video off by showing you that literally anyone can do this fight if they know how to do it. So I thought I would use somebody that really hasn't been talked about in a long time. Where is he? There he is. Daredevil Hell's Kitchen. We are going to do Deathless Thanos with Daredevil Hell's Kitchen. It might take a second, but you guys will get the idea. Essentially, if you're taking anything from this video, dodge the special 1, dash in after the beam, and then parry the last hit where he slams down on the ground, and then heavy attack. You can do it with anyone. It's going to take longer if you don't have a great counter, but just remember that. Also, I'm not going to do it in this video, you can, with pretty much any character, just light attack 1, do your first light attack as he throws it down, like that, and then throw your heavy. Obviously, some characters like this Daredevil here, that's not going to work. But for characters that I've mentioned in this video, that will work perfectly fine, and you can do that if you are in a unblockable or invade meta. That's pretty much the only time I can think about you needing to do that. The parry is usually fine, especially in Battlegrounds metas or with Battlegrounds champions, because hopefully you don't have them at 6-star rank 2 like I do this Daredevil. Resists usually aren't super important because you're going to get that heavy off, but some characters have slower heavies and you're not going to get it off. Just be aware of if your opponent has resist and you're using a character with a very slow heavy, might not be as great. But yes, anyways, generally, you're going to be able to do this. And if you can't, I can't think of any other metas besides Unblockable and Invade that you wouldn't really be able to do this strategy. You can always, with most characters, again, not this one, with most characters, you can light attack 1 like this, and then punch the heavy. Obviously, with Daredevil, he's definitely not able to do that, which is kind of amusing to me that I chose probably one of the few characters that can't, to just show how easy this fight was if you know what you're doing. But, yes, most characters are going to be just fine doing that. Not Daredevil, though. All in all, very fair defender. Doesn't have really any BS moves. He doesn't break into your block. He doesn't punish you for dodging. He doesn't do anything that takes away your ability to dodge or block. He's a very fair defender. He's just chunky and has a couple tricks up his sleeve. If you push him to Special 2, I recommend practicing that in the practice grounds. If you are wondering what champion you should do that with, you can pretty much choose anybody. Just make sure he gets to a Special 2. He has the combat power rate, so it shouldn't be too hard. But his Special 2 is not that punishing. Even if you do mess up the dodges, which you definitely do not have to, you can totally work around the dodges. If you do mess up the dodges, it's not going to deal a whole lot of damage as long as you've got a reasonable character you're using here. I should use our special 3 there because I believe it gives us a little bit of extra damage. Skip. There you go. Give us a little healing too, which we definitely need. He's taking a lot of damage. We're taking a lot of damage from him. Oh, there you go. Anyways, went well till it didn't for about, yeah, 2 minutes, which is longer than a Battlegrounds fight would be. So ideally we would have either timed out by then. Easy fight, easy champion. If you have any other questions about bosses or any other character that you want to go over, I am happy to do so. Onslaught is one I was thinking of doing next. Photon is one I'm thinking of doing next. Those are both champions that I know exactly how to fight with any champion, albeit much easier with the proper counter. Alright, y'all. That's pretty much all I got. Y'all have a great rest of your day. And please, consider subscribing, consider liking this video, and I will see y'all on the next one.